Signed CDs Part 4. Hoi hoi everybody, and welcome to the fourth and final part for now of my signed CD collection of videos. I'll carry straight on. First three parts are available already. You can find them in the links below if you haven't already watched them. Okay, so we have the latest album, Change of Fortune by Soul Asylum. This was a pledge campaign. I quite like Soul Asylum anyway. I saw them supporting Guns N' Roses in '93. But my main interest in this was actually because their drummer now is Michael Bland, who was Prince's drummer from 1990 to 1996, and then occasionally after that. And that's his signature there. And that's Dave Perners. Is it? Or is that Dave Perners? No, that's Dave Perners. Sorry. Justin Shabano and Winston. That's got to be Justin Shabano. That's got to be Winston. So yeah, I got the signed CD. Also, Dave Perner did the music to Chasing Amy. So for my Kevin Smith collection, it was quite nice to have. But on the wall there, the top drumstick, the single one, is one of Michael Bland's that I bought through the campaign. The signature, you might be able to see in black on this end, is printed, but the other end is his proper signature in silver. Through their website, this is Take That's Giants single. Bad choice of pen on cover. They've got terrible signatures. Gary's is just almost like an S, but it's a G. Howard's is vaguely an H. Mark's is semi-decent as a Mark, at least. It was a case of you order a single. There was two versions of a single. You ordered both, and one of them would be signed, and it was a mixture of which you got signed. But I got this version, which was the live, came with live tracks recorded in Hyde Park. I've literally today, as I record this, Take That have announced their new greatest hits-ish CD, and I've ordered the signed box set of that, so hopefully that'll be clearer. This is Live on the Road, the soundtrack by David Brent, aka Ricky Gervais. This was through Amazon, the signed copies. Really fun album, really fun songs, really good movie. This was All Saints, not their most recent album, which I showed in my last video. This was the album before that, Red Flag, through their website. Good album. Comedian Nick Helm, who does comedy songs as part of his act. I won a charity auction with a bundle of signed Nick Helm stuff. I really enjoy his work. A couple of signed DVDs, which at one point in the future I will show on here. And this is a copy of his album, and he signed it on the back. But yeah, he's a really good comedy songwriter. This is Molotov Jukebox's second album. If you've watched the previous video, it's definitely the second album. This was through Pledge. Nicely signed on the front. So Molotov Jukebox are Natalia Tenner's band, Tonks in Harry Potter, etc. And I'll show it in Game of Thrones. It talks a bit more about her when I showed the first album, so watch part 3, I think it was. Or was it 2? Whichever, part 2 I think I showed that one in. Another really good album. Yeah, all of it's really good. Gypsy Funeral is magnificent live, particularly. Oh God, you get a stitch afterwards, but it's really good live. This is, at the moment, the only album by the Tots, who are a all-girl group, play sort of punky, rocky music, that I saw supporting Kate Nash at Wedgwood Rooms 2 or 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I think it was now. And they were really good, really liked their stuff, so kept track of them, and then they launched this on Pledge, so I ordered it. Yeah, really good, and it's signed on the inside. down the bottom there. But it's a beautiful package, as you can probably see. It's all spot foiled, including on the inside, and a really good album. Highly recommend the Tots. Back to Matt Berry, who I've talked about in 2 previous videos, but he's a comedian who also does comedian who also does acting, comedy actor who also does music. This was the album Night Terrors that I showed on the last video, number 3. Was sort of a spin-off from this album, which was The Small Hours, and that's signed. And again, that was through Acid Jazz, the record label he is signed to. This is the latest album by the Divine Comedy for Everland that came out in 2016. Divine Comedy are my favourite band. This album is magnificent, signed by Neil at the top. This was Pledge Campaign. This is also Pledge or Kickstarter. I think this was Kickstarter or Indiegogo or something like that. This is the comeback album by TLC. Now down to a 2-piece, obviously, following the sad death of Lisa Left Eye Lopez. This, as I say, was a comeback album. It took them ages to record, but they eventually got there, and it's nicely signed by Chili and T-Boz. My only gripe about this is that it is the clean version of the album, which not only means that any swearing's been edited out, but also means it's lost a whole track from the normal version. I did get the full version as a download through the campaign, but I still wanted the proper version on CD. But that's the important bit, as far as I'm concerned, is the autographs. This is Toploader's most recent album. They've sort of reformed, and this was the album they've released, Seeing Stars, and it is signed on the inside. This was a Pledge Campaign. This is another Melanie C CD single for Dear Life. Limited signed copies through her website. This is Mark Morris's most recent solo album. Mark Morris, lead singer of the Blue Tones. I've shown his other albums in parts 2 and 3, I think. So this is Look Up. To date, he still has only had a release through Pledge. Hasn't had a proper release, but it's a really good album. So hopefully he'll be able to release it properly. This is Una Healy from the Saturdays. This is her solo album she's done since they went on hiatus. It's more singer-songwritery than Saturday's stuff. This came with a signed card. This was through her website. It also came with a very nice poster, which was unsigned. Through Pledge, Will Young last summer did an EP of cover versions, and got a signed. He did a sale on it, so I snapped it up. Signed copy of that. Do love Will's voice. This is Kaiser Chiefs' most recent album. What's it called? Stay Together. It's a bit of a change of sound for them. It's still good, and they naturally write catchy songs, but I prefer the rocky Britpop-y type stuff. But it's still okay. That was through Amazon, I think. Through her own website, this is the last album from Foxes. Let's get a better view. That's better. It's a good album. She was in the Mummy on the Orient Express episode of Doctor Who, so it added to my Doctor Who collection as well. This is the most recent album by Pretenders. It started life as Chrissie Hynde's second solo album, but then she decided it was more of a Pretenders album. I saw them live touring this. Magnificent. And it is signed by Chrissie. It's sort of a fold-out booklet-y type, postery type thing, as you can see. But she signed it. I have all Pretenders work in a box set. I think it's all of it. And I have Chrissie's solo album as well, which came with a signed print, which you will see at some point in the future. This is an album by Dr. John Cooper Clarke and Hugh Cornwell. Hugh Cornwell from the Stranglers and punk poet Dr. John Cooper Clarke. he's actually, John Cooper Clarke is actually a very good singer. And they recorded an album of covers. And they were selling signed copies through the website. And I'm really happy to have it. This is, to date, the most recent album by Wendy James, but she's currently working on the follow-up. Wendy James was the lead singer of Transvision Vamp, and she's had a number of solo albums since. This was a pledge campaign. This is the price of a ticket, with a naked Wendy James on the cover and the back. But it's a really good album, signed in silver, which doesn't show up great. I've got a signed poster, which shows up a lot better. And as I say, I've pre-ordered the new album. This is Melanie C's last album version of Me. Signed copy through her website. Signature doesn't show up great on this, unfortunately. I think the pen was starting to run out. Try it without the glare. So much glare there. There you go. Very good album, as I've said on a previous volume of this collection. I really like Mel C, and I had the pleasure of meeting her after seeing her in Blood Brothers. This is the most recent album by Dexys, formerly Dexys Midnight Runners. This is an album of Irish and country soul called Let the Record Show. This is a box set. CD1 is the album, CD2 is a DVD about it, and then the third CD is solo vocal and instrumental versions. This is signed by Kevin Rowland, the lead singer of Dexys. This was through, I think it was Amazon exclusive. Travis's last album, Everything at Once, through their website, I think. Also got a signed lyric print that you will see at another time of this. Very good album, deserved to do better. This is Familiar, to date the most recent album by Sophie Elliott. I bought this signed CD, just deluxe CD, through her website. I also have signed vinyl, which I've already shown in a previous video. But yeah, brilliant album. Not quite as good as Wanderlust, but still brilliant album. This I've shown on a previous autograph update. This is the debut album by Jealous of the Birds. This whole story as to how I got a signed copy, which I told on that video. But this is signed by Naomi Hamilton, who is Jealous of the Birds, and it is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant album. This is a signed copy of the Funny Girl musical cast recording, signed by Sheldon Smith. They sold a limited number of these through an official website, which I managed to grab. I saw her in it twice. Once in London and then at Southampton Mayflower. Met her after the London performance, and so I've got a signed programme from this. She didn't come out after Southampton because she had a matinee the next day. But love Sheridan. And finally, for my signed CDs, this is Echoes of Our Times by Shakin Stevens, his most recent album, which is nothing like his previous work. If you've watched my vinyl videos, you'll know that I love Shaky. But this is sort of country blues type, traditionally, well, they're not traditional songs, they're all originals, but that sort of genre. I ordered the album, so I have the standard version of the album. Well, actually, I have the deluxe version of the album normally, and then after I'd already ordered that, they started selling signed copies through his website, I think it was. Or was it through... Might have been an Amazon exclusive, thinking about it. But anyway, so I had to order the standard version to get a signed copy. It's signed in silver. Oh, actually, it shows up reasonably well. So that is pretty much my signed CDs. Some of my box sets have got signed elements, but I'll show them off in a box set collection video. Yeah, don't know where I'll go next on my signed stuff. Might work my way through my signed books, possibly, and then start going through my 10x8s. Signed DVDs, I'll just, when I come to them, when I'm doing my DVD collection videos, I'll show you those. I think it's the easiest way with them because they're all over the place. They're not collected together. So yes, anyway, thank you for watching. Like if you've enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you on another video. Bye.